active, please put them in your files and utilize them for the information that's needed. We're going to be getting ready to get into our really busy season. Not that we haven't all been really busy, because it's been busier than most seasons. So just remember those checklists are really helpful. Utilize them. There was a glitch with dotloop. They didn't redo the 2019 contract checklist for me yet. It should be coming any day. They should have that in there, and I'll swap that out with last year's version. And by the 1st of April, I hope they'll have the Farm and Ranch one done for you. So you'll have a checklist for Farm and Ranch. Yay! And thanks to Norma Carlton, she helped me do that. So yay, I'm excited about that one. So be sure to use those checklists, put them in your file. They're interactive. You can leave me notes. Please tell me if something's missing. If it's not in the MLS, notate that for me so that I don't have to send your file back to ask you. When in doubt, be sure to listen to your instincts on transactions. If you're working,
she's frozen just like Washington.
A snowflake got in her way.
You still there, Mary? Let's try it again.
Nothing really.
Mary?
Yeah, there you are.
Hey, what's up?
I have no idea.
We got one tiny problem. You're on my phone now.
Oh.
I don't know if everyone's gonna be able to see you and hear you like that. So I'm gonna call you from my computer.
Okay.
How many hours do we have to have now?
18.
Scott, when are you offering legal 1 and 2 here next?
April.
I just paid for it.
How's that?
Well, it's not quite there yet, but I'm gonna get it there. We're gonna do it from my phone regardless, okay?
Okay.
Always ask them when they're having them.
Sorry for the technical difficulty this morning.
All right. I'm paused now. Could be on my end too, maybe. I don't know.
Hold on.
Oh, CR. Oh, SRS.
No.
Or seller. Seller. She's already got it.
Yes, you can. It is very expensive.
Is it raining pretty hard now? Okay.
Yes, the whole way. So irritating.
And it's cold, bizarre. It was hard to dress. It's like, I don't want to be hot later, so.
Sorry for the technical difficulty this morning. Of course, this is what would happen, right? We did.
You know what? Good feeling. Hunt him down like a dog.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know why you didn't do call it, do it, hunt him down like a dog.
I guess just okay. Just see whatever you want.
Huh? However you think that looks best, I'm not upset. All right. Everything's got the back stuff about it. All
Unless it's a I'm right, I'm good. Yeah, I love
I did not, no, but I haven't been the one that cleans out the room, so let me know when you've got it going. I'm just going to improvise.
Go ahead, take it away.
Okay. All right, we're going to improvise while he's getting things ready. I see a couple of folks that came to the contract class on Friday, so let's chat about it. Let's see. Who all came? Lynn. So what were some factoids that you all learned that were ahas? So many.
I like the word factoid.
Factoids. So many. What do we put in special provisions?
Nothing.
Only business details, factual information, and I would really love it if you got your broker's approval before you did it, especially if it's a habit. Awesome. So just so everybody knows, for those of you who may need a refresher or those of you who are educating your team members on how to write a contract, I have a lot of the contract addenda pre-filled out with examples of how to fill out a 1-to-4 and pretty much every addendum portion that I can think of, from the appraisal addendum, how to terminate a contract. We've had a lot of questions about what do you use to terminate a contract and how do you manage release of earnest money. So those are some things that are in here. We're going to upload these to connectkw.com as well with the video of the contract class. It was a 6-hour class. It was a long class, yet I think we hit a lot of really good points. We talked about the broker to broker, broker to owner. If you're working with for sale by owners, now is a great time to be out talking to for sale by owners because they're all hearing that the market's picking up and they need you as much as you want to help them. So,
Okay.
we're working on it.
Perfect.
Kristen, can I ask you a question?
Yes,
So pertaining
Hold on.
to, it's right in the.
that's okay.
No, I don't know how to do that.
Ask it later.
Okay. Awesome.
Couch,
She's got a nice couch.
dogs get.
Yeah.
Like you're a
What's
dog
the-
protector.
I don't have you on my camera, so hang on a second.
Okay.
What question did you have, Stephanie? Well, she's...
Is that better?
Pertaining to the protection period.
You're done. Do you hear that?
Hey, there we go. There we go.
Hi, Mary.
Oh my gosh, there you are. I have no idea what this thing is. Of my screen, but I don't want to.
We can hear you, but
You guys hear me?
yeah, we can hear you.
But you can't see me?
Not really.
Maybe the snow.
This is what happens when we get fog in Georgetown.
Okay, so if you can hear me, I'm just going to talk.
Perfect. Take it away.
Okay. I sent the buyer. They are not in.
We are a tech company, just saying.
Okay, so if you have a listing and an unrepresented buyer comes to you and wants to present an offer, that is not necessarily an intermediary. If you have a conversation with that buyer and they say that they do not want representation, but they'd like to present an offer, then Keller Williams does not represent them in action. You are representing the seller and the seller only. That does not mean that you can't provide that buyer with the documentation in order for them to present the offer to your seller. You can provide the contract that they can have. Now, what's tricky is that you have to make sure that you stay representing your sellers. Buyers need to understand you can't give them any information that the seller has not given permission to. So it's filling out the documentation. The other document that we would like them to fill out and sign is the broker service. And on that IBS, like you to have notate that
Information
you do not
about brokerage
represent them.
services. That's what she's talking about. Hey, Mary,
Here.
let's try this again next week.
Yeah.
We'll try it again next week.
Okay.
Keeps cutting out. I'm sorry.
All right. No problem.
See you later. Will? Yeah, I'm going to rate the quality of that video. Thank you for reminding me to do that, Facebook. 1, submit. Was there a problem? Yeah, it didn't work.
So the best part is something that's coming out with KW Command will be in a classroom learning format, much like this, with better quality. And we'll be able to it's going to be like Zoom. Has anybody used Zoom? So that will be available to y'all if you are having masterminds with, other agents, or you're having, obviously they may have to be KW for you to do that, or I don't know, maybe they'll be able to call in. We'll see. So I think what Mary was discussing was the IABS. So if you're representing the seller and someone comes unrepresented and wants to purchase the property and says to you, I don't want to be represented, then what she was discussing is you can have the IABS initialed by them so they understand they have the right to hire an agent, what an intermediary is, and that they write somewhere on that they understand that Keller Williams is in no way representing them in the transaction. Does anyone have any questions around that?
So how does
Janie?
commission work in that way?
So the commission would work depending on what you do.
Commission is based on your listing agreement.
Correct.
So if you have a buyer that comes unrepresented, most of the time that buyer is going to assume that they're just going to take off, let's say, 3% of the sales price. However, you are under no obligation whatsoever
Amen.
to give that 3% to the buyer because the seller has signed a listing agreement with you stating that they're going to pay you 6%.
No.
Who gets the other three?
Now,
You do.
You get both. If you're the
Correct.
lister and the.
you do
Correct.
unless you guys have negotiated, which you don't have to do, and yet I find that most agents will negotiate that go back to their seller and renegotiate that. If that happens, you need to do an amendment to the listing agreement, correct, to show the commission change if there's going to be one. So if you decide to take any percentage off of your own commission so it can be taken off the listing price so the unrepresented buyer gets a deal, then that needs to be done on an amendment to the listing before you accept the contract.
This is actually a fair place to bring something up. There was
Yes.
an article that was in Inman the other day. I don't know if you saw it or not, but there's somebody who has filed a lawsuit against several major MLSs. MLS is one of them. San Antonio MLS is another one. And then I think there's 17 others. And
Large ones throughout the U.S.
Large ones throughout the entire country. And they've named every major real estate company in the transaction as well, including Keller Williams, Realogy, Remax. There's another one that I'm missing. But they don't matter because they're not Keller Williams. Sorry. But what the lawsuit is stating is that Sherman antitrust laws have been violated because the assumption is that the buyer, or that it's always been forced for the seller to pay the buyer's commission. And I don't think that the lawsuit really has any merit here in the state of Texas because of the way that our listing agreements are drawn up in such a way that the percent that you agree upon is always paid to the broker who's representing the seller. What the broker does with that money from that point on is completely up to the broker. Yet when you sign a listing agreement with a seller, that price that you agree upon to sell the home for, whatever percentage that may be, it always belongs to the broker. It's the broker's responsibility to do whatever they choose to with that money. And I think this is really a result of the consumers not being educated on what the actual process is and what it looks like behind the scenes. It will be very, very interesting to watch this lawsuit play out because we're also going to need to make sure that the judges who are running our country know exactly what the real estate industry looks like. And the article obviously had a headline in Inman that said something along the lines of the entire real estate industry's playing field could be completely changed with this one lawsuit. I'm not that worried about it because of how our listing agreements are drawn up here in the state of Texas. Now, they've also named every MLS in there as well because the MLSs are the place that was created to do what? Advertise compensation between brokerages. So it'll be interesting to see what transpires because of it. And I wanted to bring it up so that you know. Is there a standard amount of commission?
No.
Thank you. You answered it right. There's absolutely nothing standard